you founded Billbee. You didn't found it. You joined Billbee as a freelancer in early 2016, and then a few months later, as is in the profile, you joined it as employee number 1. And then you started to bootstrap Billbee to around 6 million ARR, around 50 people. And in 2020, you decided to transform the company to be 100% remote. And I understand where it's coming from. We had COVID. But the other thing that you did, which is an interesting thing in itself, is that you reduced full-time working hours by 25% to get to 30 hours a week. The story about Alex here is head of Replyco, as I said. Replyco is a help desk software for the e-commerce business. Both are in the e-commerce space. We're going to talk about today the whole process of acquiring. And my first question at the end is, you bootstrapped the company to 5 million ARR. You were profitable forever, as you told me before this. How did you get this crazy idea to acquire a company?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. And it was not that we were had the plan of acquiring companies or have an M&A strategy for the sake of M&A. That was never the plan and is not the plan going forward. As you've said, we were profitable from day one on, basically. So we always growing from our own revenues, from our own cash flows. So very conservative in the beginning. Then, as we're both in the e-commerce space, obviously COVID, after this first initial uncertainty, was a boost for our both companies. We were growing, doubled in 2020, doubled in 2021, and obviously also had this little dip in 2022. But as we were bootstrapped, we had the ability or had the chance to adapt very quickly to less revenue growth in 22. Though we were able to spend less. We weren't overpacing that time in 22, and for the entire history or for the last couple of years, we have developed some kind of e-commerce ecosystem around what Billbee does. Billbee is basically some kind of middleware, so we have a lot of integrations to source systems, destination, third-party plugins, and stuff like this. So there's a natural role of being a middleware in this space, and customers requesting more and more features around around the functionality of Billbee itself. And at some point in time, we were always thinking about, all right, should we extend this, what we call Swiss Army knife of Billbee, with even more functionalities, making it more complex, making it more heavy, more like a monolithic product, or should we add more different, smarter, smaller products to the whole group, to the whole ecosystem? And then at the same time it happened, we stumbled upon a Replyco, which indeed actually covers one feature set we are totally not covering at Billbee, but a feature set which is totally interesting for our entire customer base, for entire e-commerce Germany, where we are operating. And then we said, why not? Let's try do this as a guinea pig, as a proof of concept, so to say. Are we able as a company to create a group of companies? Are we able to create an e-commerce ecosystem, not only in terms of product integrations, but also in terms of team integrations, marketing integrations, operations integrations, and stuff like this?
Completely understand that, and I got some more questions around that. But for your perspective, Alex, then there's a guy coming up to you, to the company, and say, okay, I want to acquire you. How do you react from that perspective?
Well, I think what we've been going through is similar to what David at Billbee been going through. We were doing just fine. We knew our niche. We knew our target audience. But unfortunately, just like one of the other speakers on the big stage have said, unfortunately, the last couple of years have made it a bit unpredictable in the world. Especially what happened last year. We were unfortunately heavily distracted by events that took place in February last year. And as a result, we were looking for a strong partnership. We knew exactly where we were going, but we knew that we also will benefit from finding the right partner who's in the same field as us, who shares the same values, who've got the same client base. And when Billbee appeared on the radar, it was pretty much a no-brainer, because identical clients, very similar softwares, at least in the same field, and outside of simply a software perspective, different cultures. They are successful in Germany. We are doing quite okay in UK and US. So it was like pretty much a partnership made in heaven, I would say, right from day one.
Yeah, interesting. And I mean, you've used the word partner I think 3-4 times right now. I mean, I've been in the enterprise software space all my life. And of course, there's always the question when you're talking about product strategy decisions. I mean, you either buy, or you either make, or you buy, or you partner. And since you've mentioned partner, why couldn't this happen being just partners?
I would say at the moment it is more like a partnership. So it's not that we making one product out of two products. It's not that we having one pricing instead of two separate pricing. So it's basically like a partnership with maybe an even better partner or more integrated, better integrated partner, better co-marketing, better co-pricing maybe. But especially when it comes to roadmap and features and also the integration in both ways, in both directions, it's even more than a single partner step. And we see this whole process or this whole project as an iterative process. So step one might be, yes, okay, it's just a partner. It could be just a partner, but then second, how would we as a totally separate company convince Replyco target their product for the German market, for example, right? We have almost 20K customers in the German market. They have maybe 3 or 4 before we acquired them. So how would we make a partner company translate their software to German, add German integrations, add German marketplaces to their portfolio if we not own them, if we cannot have an impact on how they develop to the future. And we definitely see huge potential for this kind of software in Germany. There's basically no competition. Alex has recognized by now that there's really no real competition in Germany. So definitely one point is to start as a partner, but become really an e-commerce platform, so to say. Yeah,
you make an interesting point there. I mean, I've seen acquisitions go by at the company I used to work for, a company called Unit 4. And one thing indeed is about, how can you create leverage? Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, well, the leverage in this case comes from using the same stack and sometimes doing things once rather than twice. And you can only do that if you have ownership of the company.
Sure.
But I mean, I also can see that, for example, when you've always been independent, suddenly you have to give things up and you have to start going and following someone else's ideas. How is it kind of going with you?
Do you know what I actually think? Yeah, you're right in a way where, okay, perhaps we're not 100% behind the decisions, but having built the company from day one and pretty much we know all our clients by name, so that we kind of build this close community in a way. So we are responsible also in front of these clients that, where we go in will actually satisfy the client needs. Yeah. And as a result, it's not just, someone came in and they're making the decisions. We knew that the partner that we're choosing, Billbee in this case, they're not going to let our clients suffer. They're not going to change the product heavily and so on and so on. And as a result, we're quite comfortable with where all this is going potentially. We're extremely comfortable.
I'm just teasing at the end, because these are questions that a lot of people, of course, are going by, like, should I do this? Why not? Why do it? And so on. So the more anecdotes, the better. Was there also something around financial value?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, I mean, we're a bootstrap company. Replyco was basically a bootstrap company. Now we are more or less combined bootstrap company group, if you want.
Yeah.
But obviously, we didn't buy in a lot of contribution to our EBITDA. That's a no-brainer. That obviously the EBITDA is from Billbee basically, but definitely what we did is by not to be underestimated part of the revenue on top of our revenue. So we're able to grow the company with spending for us smaller amount of money, and be more visible to the customer audience, but also be more visible to potential investors, to potential acquirers and stuff like this. So and on the other hand, this is like a proof or like a guinea pig for us to show that, all right, we are not able financially to build a group based out of 5, 10, 15 companies or bigger companies, but we could prove that we're able to do it in terms of integration, in terms of culture, in terms of product fit and stuff like this. So definitely a first step in the direction of maybe getting a partner to partner up with someone who could help us on the financial end do this, or follow this whole e-commerce group vision or e-commerce platform vision.
Yeah. One thing that you mentioned earlier on, before we started talking about the stack leverage potentially and financial value, was market entry. Why wasn't it possible for a company like Replyco to enter the German market, or and then maybe first on that level?
I don't think it was impossible to go on that, to enter any particular country. But first thing is first, we pretty much, we've started off UK. We know UK market quite well. All the integrations and all the kind of solutions that we have is mainly around for the UK or US customers, on a big scale, if you like. But then the second thing that stopped us of going into non-English speaking country is, of course, first of all, the language. Well, I mean, I can sell in German if I'm drunk enough, but I'm not that good. So that's obviously the first hurdle. And then we're not based in Germany. As a result, we don't really know the market. We can obviously hire some people in the country, but then we're talking quite expensive route. Whereas, I guess for Billbee, it's pretty much the same procedure. Hence, it just made sense. They're a different region, but we pretty much are the same product or similar.
So what it means at the end is that Billbee starts to kind of upsell or cross-sell the Replyco product, and the other thing is happening there. Now that comes to another point. You made a point in the beginning. Okay, we had all the things going on, a lot of integrations going on, and we could build more of that, or add something that is a little bit makes it a little bit more different. And simply because it's different, it's also something that's not in your nerve system. How have you managed to get the momentum going with your sales team to get something to market that they're not used to?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. I think we're not there yet. We acquired them like 5 months ago. So the last couple of months we spent on integration, bringing to the German market. Obviously, although Germany is one of the biggest markets in Europe, especially in the e-commerce space, it's also very isolated for whatever reason. Can talk about this later. But so we spent the last months on integrating, bringing to the German market, translating, bringing to German servers, which seems to be a very high requirement for German buyers. And so now we are just starting promoting Replyco. And what we did is more of a soft start, because we are doing lots of stuff from the Billbee team. So we are doing the support from the Billbee team. We're doing the German marketing from the Billbee team. And we do not want to overwhelm our own internal employees to like double their workload in terms of, all right, we now have a new product, please market it, please sell it, please do the support for it in the same way you do for Billbee. So what we've done so far is more of a soft start to see how do customers like it, what needs to be changed, what needs to be adapted, what's difficult to understand, what's difficult to explain, where's the main support needed. We do not have a sales team at all at Billbee level, so this is also a challenge still ongoing. They are more into sales because we have Alex sitting here who does the main sales job at Replyco. We do not have a single salesperson on Billbee end, so it's 100% no touch and self-service. So this is another challenge currently going on. We had to reprice it, bring the prices down for the German market to be able to sell it in a safe self-service manner. So still things ongoing. Still too early to celebrate, obviously. But we are very, very optimistic that this is going to end up well in Germany.
That's involved. I got likely some questions around that, like bringing your price down. Maybe it's price it differently. But one of the things that, of course, you talked already about partnership and a partnership made in heaven. It's about bringing two companies together to be a little different. Are you already seeing the early signs that your customers are seeing you as different? Does it help in the whole sales cycle? Maybe the salesperson first.
I wouldn't say that it's. We definitely start seeing the slightly different, not attitude, but definitely the companies are starting to look at us slightly different. It will obviously require slightly changed sales procedures, but at the same time that gives, for example, me as a salesperson, a bit more leverage, a bit more flexibility. So I'm not simply selling one product, one solution.
Yeah,
I'm pretty much selling two. So if we were to compare it, yesterday I was selling sound systems, today I'm selling the entire car. So it pretty much makes my job a little bit easier, and I can then do upsell and so on and so forth. So I'm seeing quite a lot of potential here when it comes down to sales procedures, big time.
What about you? How do you look at it from a CEO perspective?
Yeah, what we're already seeing is that especially the customers in Germany on the one hand, seem to lack for such a solution in the German market. This is really happening. We've been to a conference e-commerce conference in Frankfurt last week, and almost all of the clients who came to the stand, who came to the booth, didn't know that there is a Replyco company existing. Also, our customers doesn't even know, so we still have to do a lot of work. And on the other hand, German customers seem to be to be easier convinced by the products.
Easier to please, yeah, that's for sure.
Easier to please, definitely, yeah. So, for whatever reason. I think the main reason is German customers very isolated or limited in terms of where they do their market research in terms of new products. And they, for whatever reason, start looking at the German market, what products are available from German companies, with German hosting, German data privacy, German whatever. And they lack looking into the US, where great competitors of Replyco, obviously big competitors of Replyco as well. But this really helped in these days.
I can understand that. Well, that's good to see. Going back a little bit to the acquisition itself. Because an acquisition is, on the one hand side, a big opportunity, can also be a big risk. What was non-negotiable for you stepping into this process?
Yeah, good question. So we had a couple. I would say that there was not the one thing, but we had a couple. We had one M&A advisor on our hand who is with us and who was a good relationship since the beginning of last year, who helped us with the basics, right? Because it was our first ever contact point with such a topic. So we had this advisor who helped us finding some lawyers do the lawyer stuff, like the financial DD, the tax DD, the legal DD, and especially the SPA work and stuff like this. So on the one hand, there was all these needs to be done work, which we try to outsource as good as possible. And on the other hand, there was this more business-related topics, culture, team-related topics, where we had to find out, all right, is this something worth trying it? And in terms of risk, obviously the size was in a size where we said, all right, even if it entirely fails, it probably won't kill the company Billbee. So this maybe was some kind of requirement, if you would like to say it like this. So it wouldn't kill the company Billbee. It would be bad. It would be very bad, but it obviously wouldn't kill the company. So this really helped. On the other hand, we tried to not to use a majority of our own cash, to be honest. So we took a government grant or took a government debt on this, which really helped out making this deal possible from a financial perspective, especially at the end of last year, starting this year, where interest rates were growing and the capital was a little more difficult to get. This really helped, and all of this then led to the decision. Okay, let's try.
Okay, cool. Was there anything non-negotiable on your end?
The moment we finished,
two parties.
The moment we finished financial conversations, it was all about just trying to establish the vision. Like I said, our clients are quite important to us. And then also, I guess the only thing was obviously keeping the teams and trying to align them, so we're not as isolated and literally try and marry the teams together. That's what we were after, because it was, it just was something that was crucial to us.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very important thing. So if you would name one thing after looking back to it right now, like 5-6 months, what's been going surprisingly well?
Come on, add a bit of a joke. I mean, parties are good.
I mean, what you might think is the heaviest part, so the actual product integration, the technical integration, setting up the translation, bringing the product to the German hosting environment, setting up a German marketing website and stuff like this. This was very easy, to be honest. So if we look back at it, it took a handful of men days, women days to setting all this up. And obviously one part is culture, really bringing the whole team together, not just the 3 managers, which is easier for me because I'm talking with them each day, or at least once a week, twice a week, or stuff like this. But also the entire team from Replyco, bringing them on Billbee level in terms of, okay, what is Billbee about? What's the entire vision? What's the whole story? Where do we want to go? Is my job safe? How is my standing compared to similar jobs on Billbee and stuff like this? As you've said, Billbee is a 100% remote company, which means it's 100% remote in Germany, Replyco is 100% remote all over the place. So that's also a different story. We're not allowed to in Germany to allow all employees. So I have to explain, okay, why is Replyco people allowed to work from anywhere in the world, whereas Billbee people can work from anywhere in Germany and stuff like this. So obviously some topics arise, and we are working on it step by step in an iterative approach, I would say. But the obvious part was easier than I thought, to be honest.
That's interesting. What has been harder than expected? Maybe.
I think it's not the final what's spoken yet, but I think it's harder to make all Billbee customers aware that there's something like Replyco. It's not just sending out a newsletter and everyone knows, because what we've seen, we've sent it out to more or less everyone. But in customer conversations, especially on conferences and stuff like this, we see no one knows about this company. So you have to repeat and repeat and repeat and explain and what is it about. Especially, as I said, this category is not really existing in Germany. You do not have to explain, all right, this is a Replyco, which is a better XYZ. No, you have to explain the entire category to the customer audience, right? Because we thought it's an advantage that there's no competition in Germany, but it makes it also harder to explain what it's all about. So, yeah, that's a little harder, I would say.
So how do you pick it up from a sales perspective? I mean, has there been any has the messaging changed? Has the positioning changed?
No, actually, I can't complain because, like David said, Germany, from our perspective, was quite isolated. So making first German sales, I mean, that was easy. If I honestly have to compare the German customers' expectation versus those in UK and US, it's just it's uncomparable, because people in UK here, even in Ireland, in US, they certainly have higher expectation. There are quite a few companies on the market. So from a sales perspective, I'm laughing because German people are easier to please. Definitely, I can't complain. Obviously, we'll have to go and see how to scale it all up, because that's a slightly different story, but we're yet to see this.
Great takeaway for everybody. Go to Germany. But to your point, scaling it all up, because that needs to happen. You've been always product-led growth motion. For you, it was more sales-led growth motion. What are your ideas about making this work together?
Yeah, this is where the big plans for next year coming up, aligning the strategy, how we're going to actually sell it, and upsell it. First and the most important one. Billbee already have a humongous database of paying customers, and just getting them aware, teaching them about what's available right now, I think is going to be the first step, and I think is going to be the hardest. Because if we were to manage, to get at least half, 30% of those customers on Replyco books, to start paying them, this is going to drive numbers big time, like literally significant growth. And I think this is going to be the first step that we have to take. And then we'll see how to actually sell it physically, i.e. with sales and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the situations are completely different, because at Billbee level we have a huge top of funnel. So I think we have 2,500 signups per month or something like this, and convert like one quarter of it.
We've got.
I don't want to say how many signups they have, but still a little way to go. But convert a lot from a percentage wise. So I think we are completely have completely different bottlenecks or issues, so to say. Yeah. And we can learn from them how to convert more customers. Maybe especially if looking at the bigger customers we have a 100% usage-based pricing model. So prices range from €1 to €600 per month. So we do not do any sales at all. But maybe we could think about, okay, let's do the sales on the 500 plus accounts, and they can think about, okay, how can we fill the top of funnel? How can we market the product not only limited to Germany, but also where all the markets they are operating in? And so we have completely different homeworks to do, and can learn from each other, I think. And let's see where it goes.
Looking at the time, we've got a couple of questions left. One thing that still intrigues me. I mean, you acquired a company, you treat each other like perfect partners, but you're not merging.
Mm-hmm.
What's the reason behind that?
We don't want to make it overcomplicated on the one hand. So I think it's a really tough of a challenge to to merge it into one product, into one brand, so to say. So that's the one reason we won't do it. We don't want to overwhelm the entire team. On the other hand, we think it's still possible in the long run, right? So it's still possible to say, okay, we start as a partner, we continue to be a better partner, better integrated, cross-selling, cross-bundling. Maybe at some point in time we do some kind of combined branding. Let's say it's a Replyco or Replyco or whatever. Don't know. We don't have an idea on this yet. Maybe at some point in time we have a shared account system, we have a shared billing and stuff like this. But we always think, all right, it could be iterative. There's no real need, no reason to merge the products, make it complicated for the customers, make it complicated for the teams and stuff like this. So, I mean, look at Google Workspace, which has 10 different products. By now, they look similar. They have a shared account, but completely different products. Look at Zoho, look at Freshworks and companies like those. All are platform companies with totally separate products. They do cross-sell very well, but no need to make like an SAP, let's say.
Exactly. Do you agree with that?
Yes, 100%, and most importantly, from a financial perspective, all these accounts, bear in mind, we also have to pay, we pay VAT, they pay something different in Germany. From this perspective, that will be, this is a bit of a mission in itself. So the longer we stay kind of separated, if you like, the better it's going to be, at least for our customers and, for us as well internally, to avoid this unnecessary stress.
Completely agree. Last thing. You talked a little bit about aligning the company. What is the secret there? I mean, is it setting up a new vision? Is it? Talk about it.
Yeah, I think in the past, or especially in the years up to last year, in the years up to COVID, Billbee was really a short-term company. So looking at next year, okay, let's do it like we've done in the last year. Let's project the revenues. All right, we're probably going to grow by 30%. That's nice. Let's continue like this. But we rather didn't have a real idea on the 5-10 years, so to say. We did have an idea in terms of customer size, right? So there's a plan for a number of customers we wanted to achieve, but not how. So what's the entire vision in terms of a product strategy? We didn't have this, and we're actually now starting to work on it. As we've acquired Replyco, there came up this vision of not just acquiring Replyco, but really become the Google Workspace for e-commerce in Germany, or the Freshworks for e-commerce in Germany. And this is the vision we are currently working on. And as a management team, we're here with the entire management team at the moment, and this is part of it. And but that's difficult one to work out, and then to explain to the entire company, to the team, to make them run and work, go towards this specific vision, so to say.
I think final words being said, and
right.
give it a round of applause. Thank you for being on stage.